NFL Wildcard Best Bets and Detailed Picks. This is our second of two videos. Our first were score projections, and this one we've added some statistical analysis and some best bets looking at the point spreads. And since we like to keep it interactive, our question for this video is, who do you think wins the Super Bowl? Hit us up in the comments with your answer and give us a reason, explanation why you're picking your team. We're Texans fans. We're not going to pick the Texans. Do you think the Bills finally can make it this year, finally win it this year, and can the Lions finally make it? Been knocking at the door. All these teams listed here have a viable chance. We're not going to give you our selection yet. We don't want to influence the outcome. Here is the wildcard weekend schedule. We got the Texans hosting the Chargers, 4:30 on CBS. 8 o'clock Eastern. Saturday is the Steelers at the Ravens. The Sunday games start off with the Bills hosting the Broncos, 1 o'clock on CBS. The Packers visit the Eagles, 4:30 on Fox. And the nightcap is the Commanders at the Bucs, 8 o'clock Eastern on NBC. The Monday night game, the Vikings at the Rams. That's going to be on ESPN at 8 o'clock. And that wraps it up for our playoff game schedule. So let's kick it off now with the first game of the week, the early Saturday game, the Chargers at the Texans. Let's take a deep dive at the Chargers and the Texans and look at a couple of factors. We'll look at some statistics, look at some technical setups and some playoff history, and give you our recommendation for how to play this one. First thing, you got to resist first impressions. The first impression, look at this matchup, even for us, we're Texans fans, we freely admit it. We love the Chargers. We've liked them all year. That was our initial pick in our first video. We like what they've been able to do with Dobbins running the ball. We think Jim Harbaugh was a perfect hire for that team. On the flip side, the Texans, with their pass defense, been exceptional. Let's look at some statistics to compare these two teams. Start with defense. 122 rushing yards per game, 4.7 for the Chargers. Passing, 206 per game, 6.7 per pass. That per pass stat, those are far more important than total yardage because it tells you how truly efficient a team's defense can be. So we really stress that number. To stick with that, looking on the Texans side, 6.8 per pass, almost the same as the Chargers. Chargers get all the props for their scoring defense. Stats are the same. Rushing defense, the Texans are almost half a yard better against the run, and that's what the Chargers like to do. We think that's a huge edge for the Texans. So when you look at this game again, you have to kind of overlook what's happened. Let's look at some non-scientific trends. Texans are 5-2 in that wild card round at home. Chargers this year 2-5 against playoff teams. Only team they beat were the Broncos. We're going to update our pick here. We like the Texans winning as home dogs. There's great value there. See if you can get the 3.5 to 4 points dog line. We also like the under 44. We love divisional matchups in the playoffs. We have one here with the Steelers at the Ravens. The Steelers are one of the few teams that handle the Ravens well, including this game early this season with this 2-point conversion. We're not sure what that was supposed to be. But right now, the Ravens are playing like the best team in the AFC. They've got Lamar Jackson playing at an MVP level. Probably will win it again. There's a close one between him, Josh Allen, and Saquon. Pass defense, their lone Achilles heel now. They've been playing great since week 11. There is no weaknesses on that team. You look on the other side, the case for the Steelers, yeah, they're not playing well, but you always have Tomlin and that defense. They are a division rival. They know the Ravens well. They play them well. Play them better probably than any team other than the Chiefs. And like we just stated, they beat Ravens earlier this season, so they may have an opportunity, although we think these two teams, you look at what the Steelers have done in the past four, they're not playing very well. The Ravens, on the other hand, have been playing great. We look at this matchup, and it's kind of obvious to us. We like the Ravens here, 27-17. We think the only way the Steelers could pull the upset, significant turnover edge. Best bets for this one, we're going to do a turnover hedge with the Ravens and Lamar interception to protect us. We're going to take the Ravens minus 9.5 as a half bet, put the other half in the teaser. Going to tie it to the Bills-Broncos games on the Bills side to get that off there. We're just a little concerned with some of Lamar's postseason failures. I think they should win by 10, but weird things happen in the playoffs. And before we continue, if you would, just join our channel, and if you like this video or find it useful, like it and then subscribe. We provide weekly NFL picks, highlights, and sports travel. Thank you. Broncos at the Bills. MVP candidate Josh Allen goes against Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate Bo Nix in a great matchup. Looking forward to this one. When you watch the Broncos all year, Bo Nix has been impressive, calm, cool, but that defense has made a huge difference. On the flip side, the Bills, a few plays such as this flukish block punt against the Rams, but really they've been playing great all year. Josh Allen, like we said, we don't think he'll win MVP. We think Lamar or Saquon should. But in this matchup, we think there's going to be a lot of offense, but we also think a key matchup could be the Broncos defense. Vance Joseph has done a great job with that unit. One of the league's worst for most of last season. This year they've been right up there in the top 5 in most categories, and we think there might be an advantage there. Turning the ball over, forcing Josh Allen maybe into some bad throws, some interceptions, could keep the Broncos in the game. We've updated our score projection. We think it's going to be Bills 24, Broncos 21. We can envision a lower scoring game because we're going to be a little bit more cautious in the playoffs. But again, like we said, that Broncos defense has the capacity to limit Josh Allen, maybe slow him down, force him into some bad throws. And then Bo Nix, we have a feeling that Sean Payton's going to be a little more conservative than he's been maybe in other games and not throwing the ball down the field as much. So we think the Bills take this one in a close one, 24-21. And how we're going to play this, we're going to split this. We think the line, we've seen it up to 9, 9.5. We got the Broncos buy that up to 10, and then we're going to flip it and get the Bills on the teaser. We think it's going to be a 3-point margin, so go ahead and get that under. And with that teaser, we're going to pair that up with the Baltimore game as we already addressed. Baltimore Pitt game, get that down to -2.5. If you can get this down to -2, that'd be great. So we're going to split this one. Packers at the Eagles. We've been high on both these teams all season. Been very impressed with Jordan Love. Very impressed with what Saquon has done, especially. We think he's a viable MVP candidate. We think it'll go to probably Lamar or Josh Allen. But when we look at these two teams, we want to take a look at one key statistical matchup. Take a look at the passing offense. Green Bay going up against Philadelphia Eagles pass defense. Offense for the Packers, 226 per game. The Eagles allow 176. But look at that 6.1 yards per pass attempt. Best in the league. Should be able to slow down Jordan Love, especially with the fact the Packers lost Christian Watson. That's their true deep threat. For this one, we like the Eagles 28-17. We think they've got the edge running it. Pass defense, exceptional. How to play it? We like the Eagles -4. Split that with the money line bet. Commanders at the Bucs. Exciting rookie Jaden Daniels. Been high on him all season. Rematch of a Week 1 matchup. The Bucs got the better of that. Well, let's talk about a team that's been quietly impressive all season. What if I told you there was one team that beat the Lions and the Eagles this season? Who would you think? It was the Buccaneers, and that was early. They also beat the Eagles in the playoffs last season. Of course, that was before the Eagles became the team they are now. Beat the Chargers earlier, 4-1 against playoff teams. Let's look at their statistics. On rushing, their offense, 5.2 yards per rush. That's the best number in the NFC. And on the defensive side, they allow fewer than 99 rushing yards per game. The Commanders love to run the ball, and their average 4.3. That's average, but the total is great. They should be able to slow down Jaden Daniels and that running attack. That's why we like the Buccaneers here, 35-28. We think that balance between Baker and Bucky, they should be able to move the ball, passing it, move it running. We think without Marshawn Lattimore, we're not sure if he's going to play for the Commanders. We think that's a huge advantage. Mike Evans should be able to put up some numbers. We like the Buccaneers here to win it. So how to best play this? We like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers -2 if you can get it. The current line is currently 3. We've seen a lot of 2-point margins this season. So if you can get that, get it down to 2. And from a totals perspective, we think it's going to be a fast track. Weather's supposed to be like 62, 65 degrees. Last time they met, it was in the 80s, and it was like 37-20. So we think the over here, get that 49. That protects you against a 28-21 combination. Vikings at the Rams in what should be one of the better games of the playoff week. We think that's why they saved it for last, the Monday night game. When you look at these two teams, you've got the student going back to face the teacher with Kevin O'Connell, our pick for Coach of the Year, going up against Sean McVay, Super Bowl champion. The Vikings really were right there with the Lions. They just couldn't get anything going on offense, but we've seen it from Sam Darnold all year, throwing touchdowns, having a couple of problems with interceptions. The earlier game against the Rams, this ridiculous missed face mask call cost them any chance to come back. We think the Vikings do get the revenge here. We think they're the overall better team. We like them 28-24 as far as the best bet. We think the line has come down, which take advantage of that, -1.5 combined with the money line.
That's all for this time. Thank you for joining. Please subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to sharing our future videos with you.